right, what's up guys? So for today, we are moving on to 2.6, which is gonna be fractional distance, but we're gonna be doing it on the coordinate grid. So it's basically gonna be taking the fractional distance we did on the number line, but now we're gonna apply it to the x-axis and the y-axis to find the fractional distance between 2 points, okay? Let's jump into that. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna look at is your key point. So it says, use the fractional distance formula to find the location of the point that is a fraction between 2 points on the coordinate plane. So that's what we're gonna be learning how to do. So if you look here, we're actually gonna be finding that fractional distance, but remember, I just said that we're gonna be doing it with the x-axis and we're gonna be doing it with the y-axis. So if you look, I'm doing my fractional distance formula with my x-coordinates, and I'm doing my fractional distance with my y-coordinates. So you're going to be doing it twice because you need an x and a y coordinate on your coordinate system. So the order does matter whenever we're doing this, because if we look here, let me be able to write here. Because remember, your x1 and your y1 is your beginning point, where you start, okay? And then your x2 and your y2 here, that's gonna be your end point. So make sure you understand when you're reading the question, what's your starting point, what's your end point, and then that's what you're plugging into the formula to get from one point to the next to find that fractional distance. So let's jump over to example number 1 so I can show you. All right, so look at example number 1. So it says, if point A is located at -6,3, and point B is located at 4,2, what is the location of the point that is 2/5 of the distance between A and B? So look right here, A and B. This is your number 1s, this is your number 2s. That's my starting point and end point. So we have to make sure we plug in correctly. So point A is my beginning point. So I have -6, 3. So that's my x1 and my y1. That's my starting point, okay? Point B is my end point, so 4,2, so that's my x2 and my y2, okay? Beginning, end. And then my fraction here is gonna be my k value, so it's 2/5. So remember, we said that we have to do it twice, so let's do that twice here. So I had x1 plus k, and then x2 minus x1, comma, y1 plus k, y2 minus y1, okay? So now we gotta plug everything in like I'm supposed to. So x1 here is my beginning point, is -6, plus k, which is gonna be 2/5, x2, which is gonna be 4, minus x1, which is -6. So you need to understand this is happening a lot on the other lesson. If I subtract a negative, we're subtracting what that coordinate is. That coordinate's -6. Okay, so we have to make sure that's there. Now let's set up my y coordinates. So y1 is 3. My k value is gonna be 2/5. My y2 is gonna be 2. And my y1 is gonna be 3. Okay, now we have to make sure we do everything PEMDAS-wise. So I gotta do what's in the parentheses. Subtracting a negative turns into plus. 4 plus 6 gives me 10. 10 times 2 here, I gotta put that over 1. 10 times 2 is gonna give you 20. 5 times 1 is gonna be 5. 20 divided by 5 is 4. So -6 plus 4. -6 plus 4 is gonna give you -2. So remember, this is gonna be your x coordinate, okay, of the end. That's gonna be your x coordinate, or not my x1, but it's gonna be the x coordinate of your answer. Now I gotta find my y coordinate. 2 minus 3 gives you -1, okay? And then I'm gonna multiply that by 2/5. So 2 times -1 gives you -2. 5 times 1 gives you 5, okay? And then I'm gonna do subtracting 3 here. So I'm gonna get 3 minus 2/5 right here, correct? So I'm gonna change my whole number into a fraction. So I'm gonna do 15 over 5, because 15 divided by 5 gives me 3. And then I'm gonna subtract here. So 15 over 2 should give you, or 15 minus 2 should give you 13. And then I don't subtract the bottom number. And then 5 will go into 13 2 times. So y is gonna be equal to 2. 2 times 5 is 10, and 3/5. So your ordered pair for your answer is going to be -2, comma, 2 3/5. So ladies and gentlemen, that is your ordered pair here, okay? Let's jump over to example number 2. All right, so now look at example number 2. So it says, find the point that is 3/4 the distance between M and N. So make sure you understand, this is my starting point, this is my end point. Okay, so let's do some maths right there. So right now, point M looks like it's at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is going to be 1, 6. It looks like N is at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. So it should be at 5, -2. So remember, these are my 1s, these are my 2s. So that's how I'm going to do it inside the formula here. Okay, so somewhere on your paper, find somewhere to write this stuff down as I go here. Okay, so I'm going to do my best to try and get it in this section. So I'm going to do my x's first, then find somewhere to write your y's. Okay, so I got to do x1 plus k, and then x2 minus x1. So x1 up there, remember, those are my 1s. So x1, y1, x2, y2. Okay, so x1 is going to be 1. My k is going to be my fraction, so 3/4. My x2 over here is 5, and I'm subtracting x1, which is 1. So 5 minus 1 will give you 4. Then I'm going to multiply. Now look, the 4's across each other there, so that's going to turn into 1. So 3 times 1 is 3, 1 times 1 is 1, 3 divided by 1 is 1. 1 plus 3 equals 4. So that means my x-coordinate is going to be 4. Now I gotta find my y coordinate. I'm gonna do the same thing again. I'm gonna do it right here, okay? So I'm gonna do it in a different color. Let me get green here, okay? So y1 plus k and y2 minus y1. Okay, my y1 here is gonna be 6. My fraction is 3/4. My y2 is gonna be -2. My y1 is 6, okay? So -2 minus 6 will actually give me -8. Multiply those. So look, if I look crossways here, a positive times a negative is going to end up giving me a negative. If I look crossways, 4 will go into 8 2 times. So that'll turn to 1. This will turn to 2. 3 times 2 is 6. And then 1 times 1 is 1. So that's -6. So 6 plus -6 is going to end up giving you 0. So my y coordinate is going to be 0. So that means your final answer here is going to be 4, 0 is going to be 3/4 the distance between those. So if I look here, 4, 0, so 1, 2, 3, 4. If you look here, that actually falls on that line. It's going to be 3/4 the distance from end to end. Okay? Let's jump over to example number 3. All right, guys, so look at example number 3. So it says, find the point that is, I want you to mark out 3/4 and put 1/3 for me. And then of the distance between M to N, okay? So right now I know they're not graphed on your graph there. So right now your coordinate for M is gonna be -8, -5. And then your coordinate for N is gonna be 4, 7. Okay, so now look, it tells me from M to N. So what we have to understand is M is my starting point, N is my ending point, and I need to find 1/3 of that, okay? So again, M is gonna be my starting. So that means this is gonna be my X1 and Y1. This up here is gonna be my X2 and my Y2. Starting point, ending point, okay? So now I gotta work out some maths here. So for my X coordinate, X1 plus K, and then X2 minus X1, okay? So then now I'm gonna do my Y coordinate. So Y1 plus K, then Y2 minus Y1. Okay, so let's go and do my X's first. So X1 is -8, my K is 1/3, my X2 over here is gonna be 4, and then I'm subtracting -8. Make sure we understand that. Y1 here is gonna be -5, my K is gonna be 1/3, my Y2 over here is 7, and then I'm subtracting -5. So we have to make sure if we're subtracting a negative, we got to put that double negative in there, okay? So minus a negative will turn to plus. 4 plus 8 is going to end up giving me 12, okay? 1/3 of 12 if I end up dividing here. So 1/3 times 12 is going to end up giving me 4. negative 8 plus 4 is going to end up giving me negative 4. So right here, ladies and gentlemen, that's my x coordinate. So now I'm going to solve for my y coordinate here. So double negative here is going to turn to plus. 7 plus 5 is going to end up giving me 12. Okay, I got to take 1/3 of 12. So 1/3 of 12 is 4. So negative 5 plus 4 is going to end up giving me negative 1. So your y coordinate is negative 1. So that means the ordered pair of the coordinate that is 1/3 the distance from M to N is going to end up being negative 4, comma, negative 1. Ladies and gentlemen, there's your answer. Okay? So negative 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, negative 1. So right there is your coordinate. Okay? All right, and lastly, ladies and gentlemen, looking right here down in the bottom right-hand corner, again, this is your challenge question. So if you are going to go and do this, okay, if you can do this on your own, then that means you are ready for the skill check. If you cannot do this on your own, then that means you need to come find me or one of the teachers that's in my class, or go find your teacher, and you need to ask them to either help you on this or to show you more examples so you are ready to do this and the skill check, okay? Other than that, head over to your skill check and let us know if you can help you. Have a good one.